You talk to your grandparents and your parents and stuff, and like, oh yeah, like, everybody had a farm. My great grandma, she had, from the stories I hear, had like peach trees, plums, pear trees, a small garden. They made like wine and jams, and it was just a part of the culture. Just like people just knew how to do all of that because they came from the plantation, from farms and stuff. And then you go and just walk that neighborhood, you'll see other people who got peach trees and plum trees and gardens. And at that time, there was still some integration between like human and the ground and nature and agriculture. And so how do we bring that back? How do we make that fun and cool or modern, recognizing that agriculture looks very different. When you think about like agriculture and stuff, everybody can tell you what's growing in the field. So it's some corn, you see some soybeans. But people don't have a clue of where it's going, or like, where my food comes from that I'm eating. And so, it's a real disconnect between, nature, agriculture. How do you get folks involved in the development of their community, the development of the economic engine that drives everything? And for too long it's been, held up with just like, certain people or certain groups or certain races, But at the same time, there hasn't been like a real push to just sit down and say like, okay, how can this neighborhood look? How can this neighborhood look? How can this neighborhood look? With the current state that we're in now, Walmart got just so much control. We gotta be thinking and be prepared. Like, what happens if Walmart leaves? What happens to this town? The grocery stores, these are pillars to health, food access, and like, all just on thread. But when you think about before, like the Walmarts came in, before the Krogers came in and stuff, it were families embedded in neighborhoods who actually owned, corner stores, grocery stores, small little markets. You can just like walk in and purchase things. But somewhere within that, when Walmarts and stuff came, like, the balance started to tip. Like, they started to go away, and then we just went to these grocery stores. What does the local retailer play? These markets within walking distance to neighborhoods, what role do they play in? So some of my work is like looking at one store in particular, Jay's Grocery, that's on Richard Street in Clarksdale, and trying to reimagine that space as a place where people could easily go and get fruit and vegetables year round. How can we think about different easy grab and go options? How can we ingrain that health focus into that? How can people rethink their conception of that store into a place where you can go and get some healthy stuff? And how can we make it cool and something that folks want to come and, be a part of the change that's happening? A lot of farmers are growing produce but don't have a market to actually sell it. So people just like maybe grow all of this, but then, I don't know where to take it. And then at the same time, you talk to the restaurants, some of them are interested in purchasing local, but they don't have like a key resource to purchase it. The same thing with the schools. Think about the grocery stores. Same thing. I was talking to one grocery store, and it was like, oh yeah, like I wouldn't mind like sourcing locally, but no farmers coming up to me. I don't know the farmers. How do we make that process easier? There's farmers who already want to grow their operations. We also need to be training the next generation of farmers too. And so there's a need for workforce development to train folks to build new farms and the farms of the future, while also assisting on those ones who already are here in prison. Where do you fit in this puzzle? And how can we really chart a realistic plan of how we're going to really improve and transform our community? Because we can. But at the same time, we also got to have real opportunities for folks to have work-based training, to have mentors, but also most importantly, to get paid. What does a workforce development program actually looks like that equips folks with the skills that's needed? And what are the pathways to get folks on some land growing stuff? And what does taking that to market also looks like? People got to see the whole process and how it can be profitable to be a farmer before they're just bought in. Give folks the experience around all of that. And I'm excited about that. I think we're getting there.